Today I am going to discuss about renal blood flow. How many kidneys you have? I think dangerously easy question. 2 kidneys. Sometimes you can have single horseshoe kidney. Sometimes you can have rudimented 1 kidney. But when coming to healthy adult, usually contain 2 kidneys. How many nephrons you have? Each kidney approximately contain 1.2 millions of nephrons. 1.2 millions of nephrons. Both kidneys contain approximately 2.4 millions of nephrons. Today I am not going to discuss about nephrons. I am going to discuss about renal blood flow. How much of blood going to perfuse your both kidney right now? Yes, please. 20% out of your cardiac output. 20% out of your cardiac output right now going to perfuse your kidneys. 20% of cardiac output. Average healthy adult cardiac output is how much? Roughly 5 liters per minute. Cardiac output roughly about 5 liters per minute. That means out of 5 liters, 20% going to perfuse both kidneys. 20% going to perfuse both kidneys. 5 liters out of 20%. That means 1 liter of blood per minute going to perfuse your kidney. If I take 1 liter of blood of you, then I allow into sediment, put into this kind of container and allow into sediment. Out of 1 liter of blood, 400 ml was belong to cells, 600 ml is belong to plasma, 40% belong to packed cell, 60% belong to plasma, 40% belong to packed cells, 60% belong to plasma. Hematocrit is 40%. Both are same. Hematocrit, packed cells, volume of cells, all are same. Volume of blood or the plasma is about, volume of plasma is about 60%. If I take my blood right now, 100 ml of my blood, 60% was belong to plasma. That means 60 ml is belong to plasma, 40 ml belong to cell volume. That means if I check, this is 1 liter is called renal blood flow. If I check renal plasma flow right now, plasma flow, out of 1 liter, 1000 ml, 60% is belong to plasma. That means 600 ml of plasma going to perfuse your both kidney. It has very important clinical significance. Your plasma is the one going to filter via your kidneys, filter into your Bowman capsules. So amount of plasma is very important. Right now, if you check my kidney perfused plasma volume, it's roughly about 600 ml per minute. 600 ml per minute. That means from this artery and this artery, 600 ml of plasma going to come into your both kidneys per minute. Out of this 600, 20% going to filter into your Bowman capsule. 20% going to filter into your Bowman capsule. I will draw a Bowman capsule for you. Here, afferent glomerular artery. Blood come from this one. Afferent glomerular artery. Then capillary network is there. Then your efferent glomerular artery. Efferent glomerular artery. Here your Bowman capsule. Here your Bowman capsule. Here your proximal convoluted tubule. Here your loop of Henle. Bowman capsule, proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle. From here to here, 600 ml plasma come. Out of this 600, Out of this 600, 20% filter into Bowman capsule. That means out of 600, 20% going to filter into Bowman capsule. It is roughly about 120 milliliter per minute. This one is called, you know about the name already, glomerular filtration rate. This is your glomerular filtration rate is 120, GFR commonly called. So your GFR is right now, if you have perfectly normal kidney, your glomerular filtration rate right now roughly about 120 milliliter per minute. 120 milliliter per minute. If you multiply it from day, minutes, you can roughly get an idea how much of your glomerular filtration rate happening per day. Daily minutes 12 into 60 is roughly about 180 liters per day. That means per day 180 liters of fluid going to filter into this compartment. 180 liters, that a big amount. Out of this 120, 99% going to reabsorb. 99% going to reabsorb. Ultimately, you are going to produce just 1 ml per minute urine output. Just about, not minute, 1 ml out of this 120 ml as urine output. 1 ml out of, that means 1 ml per minute, the same, yes. Thank you for correcting it. 1 ml per minute urine output per minute, roughly. Rest of 119 going to reabsorb via your renal tubules. Going to reabsorb via your renal tubules. My question is, how this much amount of 20% going to filter? What are the mechanisms they have to filter this amount of, this much of large amount? 180 liters per day, large amount going to filter into Bowman capsule. How they create such a huge filtration? Answer is very simple. You are normally, if I take your artery and capillary network, you are this side, your arterial side, then it come into your capillaries, then it collected by your venules. Venules are large capacitance vessels. Does not have much pressure when come into venules end. But when come into your kidneys, it contains afferent glomerular artery here, then glomerular capillaries, then afferent glomerular arteries. Those capillaries are below, in between two arteries, afferent artery and efferent artery. Efferent means ending artery. You can easily keep in mind. Efferent means ending. This is afferent artery, this is ending artery. From here to here blood comes from afferent artery to efferent artery. Because of presence of two arteries and in between capillaries, if you constrict this artery too much, you can pressurize this area. If you dilate this artery too much, you can increase the pressure. If you dilate this one, you can reduce the glomerular pressure. You can finally adjust renal filtration fraction by constriction or dilation of your glomerular artery, either afferent glomerular artery or either efferent glomerular artery. Afferent glomerular artery or efferent glomerular artery, dilation or constriction will determine how much of filtration you are going to produce. Now I am going to do an experiment. I am going to increase blood pressure gradually while monitoring the renal blood flow. Here I am going to increase blood pressure. Here I am going to measure the renal blood flow. Renal blood flow more or less equal to your glomerular filtration rate as well. Here blood pressure, I am going to measure mean arterial pressure. What I am going to do is I am going to gradually increase mean arterial pressure while monitoring the renal blood flow. Here I am watching what happened to the renal blood flow. It started from 0. When I increase my blood pressure, my renal blood flow going to be increased. My renal blood flow going to be increased. Once it comes into roughly about 1 liter, that means 20% of my cardiac output or glomerular filtration rate 120 milliliter per minute. Even though I increase blood pressure, here roughly value is 80. Even though I increase blood pressure, renal blood pressure not going to change. Once it comes into roughly about 180, when I increase blood pressure further, renal blood flow going to be increased. That means from 80 to 180, even though I increase blood pressure in my body, my renal blood flow not going to change. My renal blood flow not going to change. That means my kidney has an ability to maintain blood pressure, not the blood pressure, maintain blood volume or blood flow. They are open. Maintain blood flow, they are open without affecting external blood pressure for the certain range. For the certain range from here to here. That means it has some kind of auto-regulation. This one called auto-regulation. Auto-regulation means the ability of individual organ to control their own blood volume, blood flow in spite of changing certain factor. Here the blood pressure is the changing factor. In spite of changing that blood pressure factor, my kidney has a capability of maintaining renal blood supply from 80 to 180 millimeter mercury of mean arterial pressure. Then what I am going to check what are the factors. I am going to check what are the factors which going to increase or decrease glomerular filtration pressure. Which going to increase or decrease glomerular filtration pressure. If I increase angiotensin 2 amount, and if I increase sympathetic discharge, if I increase atrionatriuretic peptide, angiotensin 2, sympathetic discharge or atrionatriuretic peptide, what happened is my efferent glomerular arteries going to constrict. What I am going to check is when I increase angiotensin 2, when I increase sympathetic discharge, when I increase atrionatriuretic peptide, my efferent glomerular arteries, that means ending side, going to constrict. We'll see what happened when those factors increase. When those factors increase, this one going to be constrict, so pressure in this stuff going to be increased. So filtration fraction going to be increased. Previously 20%, it may increase into 21, 22, 23, likewise. What is the usual pressure of glomerular tuft? Here hydrostatic pressure is roughly about 90 millimeter mercury. Capillary hydrostatic pressure is roughly about 90 millimeter mercury. Capillary oncotic pressure is 25 millimeter mercury. Oncotic pressure means the fluid dragging pressure. Oncotic pressure, just because of presence of your protein, they can hold water pull towards your capillaries. Oncotic pressure is 25. Bowman capsule hydrostatic pressure roughly about 15 millimeter mercury. That means 90 pressure outward from capillaries because of hydrostatic pressure, minus 25 towards the in because of the presence of protein in the blood, 25. And here pressure also from here to here 15, Roman capsule pressure here 50. So your net filtration pressure roughly about 50 millimeter mercury. Your Roman capsule net filtration pressure is roughly about 50 millimeter mercury. Believe me, this is the highest capillary pressure in your body. This is the highest capillary pressure in your body. So those are the factors going to increase the constriction of efferent glomerular artery. Efferent means end inside. We'll see what are the factors going to dilate afferent glomerular arteries. Going to dilate afferent glomerular arteries. This is your afferent glomerular arteries. These factors going to dilate your afferent glomerular arteries. Presence of prostaglandin. Presence of prostaglandin and various kinin. Prostaglandin, various kinin going to dilate your efferent glomerular arteries. Not only that, dopamine, nitric oxide, dopamine, nitric oxide and atrial natriuretic peptide. Like here it going to constrict, here it going to dilate. I will tell the significance of those things. Presence of prostaglandin, presence of kinin, presence of dopamine, nitric oxide and atrial natriuretic peptide going to dilate your afferent glomerular arteries. Afferent means beginning of your arteries. Once it dilate, more fluid come into here. Once it constrict from here, the pressure will be going to increase in this area. Pressure will be going to increase in this area. Those some frequently appear in your MCQs. It has very important clinical significance as well. Previously, when you have mild renal impairment, mild moderate renal impairment, most intensivists used to start previously, not now, a small amount of dopamine. Dopamine up to 5 microgram per kilogram per minute infusion. Why? It will increase your afferent glomerular artery dilation. So it will increase your renal output. So your kidney urine output will be improved. But unfortunately, what they found is adding dopamine infusion does not going to change mortality. Does not going to change mortality. No point of adding dopamine nowadays, out of practice. But still it can appear in your MCQ. Dopamine can dilate afferent glomerular artery. Prostaglandin, kinin, nitric oxide, atrial natriuretic peptide go to dilate your afferent glomerular arteries. Answer is yes. Answer is yes. Your angiotensin 2 sympathetic atrial natriuretic peptide going to constrict your afferent glomerular arteries. Answer is yes. Answer is yes. If you give angiotensin receptor blockers, so angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors, lesser amount of angiotensin present in your blood. So angiotensin 2 lesser amount. This one not going to constrict too much, so it will dilate. Your angiotensin receptor present here as well. This one also going to constrict. This one also going to constrict by angiotensin 2. But angiotensin receptor more and more present in your efferent glomerular arteries. Here lesser amount of angiotensin 2 receptors. Once I increase angiotensin 2, it will constrict more here, it will constrict lesser here. More constriction here, less constriction here. Ultimate one is increase the pressure in the glomerular tract. Once I block angiotensin 2 receptors, the dilation will be more here. Here dilation will be less because lesser number of receptors here. The pressure of glomerular tract going to be reduced. So filtration fraction going to be reduced. Your protein filtration also going to be reduced. Why? Now pressure is less. Small protein filtration also going to be reduced. This has some very important clinical significance. When you having diabetic, once you develop microalbuminuria, they usually prescribe angiotensin 2 receptor blockers. angiotensin to converting enzyme or a receptor blockers. It will reduce amount of angiotensin. It will dilate your efferent artery more. Efferent artery more dilate. Glomerular tough. Or here pressure, glomerular capillary pressure going to be reduced. This one little dilate, this one more dilate. Fluid can freely come from here, lesser dilate. Your protein filtration going to be reduced. Protein filtration going to be reduced. Your microalbuminuria will be improving results. It has very important clinical significance. So that is all regarding the renal blood flow and dysregulation. Thank you very much.